Have you ever felt like the world is a game of chess, and you're constantly one move behind? Like there are unseen forces at play, influencing outcomes and shaping destinies? What if I told you there are ancient, potent strategies, secrets whispered through centuries, that can illuminate these hidden currents and empower you to navigate them with precision and grace? Welcome to Visual Books. Today, we are exploring The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, a book that peels back the veneer of polite society to reveal the raw, often brutal, mechanics of human interaction and ambition. This isn't a guide to morality, but a manual for survival and dominance in a world where power is the ultimate currency. Get ready to uncover the timeless principles that have shaped empires and toppled kings. We begin our journey with Lesson 1, Never Outshine the Master. The core concept here is simple, yet profound: humility in the face of superior power. When you're dealing with those above you, it's crucial to make them feel superior. Their ego is your most potent tool. Outshining them, even with good intentions or exceptional talent, can ignite envy and insecurity, leading to your downfall. The key examples often involve historical figures who, through their brilliance, inadvertently threatened their patrons. Think of talented courtiers who were too obviously skilled, too eager to please, and ultimately found themselves out of favor. The actionable advice? Learn to make your superiors appear more brilliant than they are. Play down your own successes, attribute your achievements to their guidance, and always ensure they feel like the sun around which you orbit. It's about strategic flattery and knowing when to dim your own light. Lesson 2. Never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. This law cuts deep into the often murky waters of loyalty and betrayal. Friends are often too familiar, too prone to jealousy, and their expectations can be burdensome. They know your weaknesses, and their loyalty can waver under pressure or temptation. Enemies, on the other hand, once they are brought into your service, perhaps through a strategic alliance or a magnanimous gesture, can become fiercely loyal. They have something to prove, a debt to repay, and their motives are often clearer than those of a smiling friend. The cautionary tales here often involve rulers who were undone by the very people they thought they could trust implicitly, while those who were once adversaries became their most reliable allies. The actionable advice? Vet your friends carefully. Be wary of excessive familiarity. And when an enemy can be turned into an ally, their past animosity can become a powerful bond of loyalty. Lesson 3. Conceal your intentions. Transparency is often lauded in modern society, but in the arena of power, it can be a fatal flaw. If people know what you're truly after, they can build defenses, plot against you, or simply beat you to the punch. Keeping your true goals hidden allows you to move with greater freedom, to sow confusion, and to strike when your opponents are least expecting it. History is littered with examples of individuals who, by appearing to pursue one objective while secretly aiming for another, achieved remarkable victories. The actionable advice? Be a master of deception. Use misleading statements, create diversions, and let your actions speak louder than your carefully crafted words, but only when the time is right. Misdirection is your friend. Lesson 4. Always say less than necessary. This law is about the power of silence and restraint. When you speak too much, you reveal too much, your insecurities, your plans, your true thoughts. The more you say, the greater the chance of saying something foolish, something that can be used against you. Conversely, by saying little, you appear more profound, more powerful. Your words carry more weight, and others are forced to fill the void with their own interpretations, often projecting greater intelligence and depth onto you than you might actually possess. Think of the wise elder who speaks sparingly, each word a carefully chosen gem. The actionable advice? Practice economy of speech. Let your silences speak volumes. When you do speak, make sure every word counts. Lesson 5. So much depends on reputation, guard it with your life. Reputation is your shield and your sword in the game of power. A strong reputation can intimidate enemies and attract allies. It creates an aura of invincibility. Once tarnished, however, it's incredibly difficult to repair. You become vulnerable, and your enemies will exploit your weakened standing. Greene emphasizes the importance of proactively building and aggressively defending your reputation. He points to figures who understood this implicitly, using carefully constructed public images to their advantage. The actionable advice? Build a formidable reputation. Understand its power and protect it ferociously. If your reputation is attacked, strike back swiftly and decisively to defend it. Lesson 6. Court attention at all costs. In a world saturated with information and distractions, standing out is paramount. If you are invisible, you have no power. You must actively seek attention, even if it's negative attention. A strong, if controversial, reputation is far better than no reputation at all. Think of historical figures who used eccentricities or bold statements to capture public imagination and, by extension, power. The actionable advice? Be bold. Make yourself noticeable. Do not shy away from controversy if it serves to place you in the spotlight. Create a striking image, a memorable persona. Lesson 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. This law is about leveraging the efforts of others to your own advantage. Why exert yourself when you can skillfully delegate and then reap the rewards? It's about appearing brilliant and capable without necessarily doing all the heavy lifting yourself. History is full of examples of powerful figures who relied on the talents and labor of subordinates. The key is to inspire and direct them effectively, then to claim the success as your own. The actionable advice? Master the art of delegation. Identify talented individuals and utilize their skills. Ensure that while they do the work, the credit and the associated prestige ultimately comes to you. Lesson 8. Make other people come to you, use bait if necessary. This principle is about controlling the tempo and location of interactions. Instead of chasing after others, you want to draw them to you. This gives you the advantage of dictating terms and controlling the flow of information. By making yourself seem desirable, valuable, or even necessary, you can lure others into your sphere of influence. Greene uses examples of shrewd negotiators and strategists who always manage to have their opponents come to them, often with a well-placed offer or a tempting prospect. The actionable advice? Create situations where others must seek you out. Use incentives, money, power, information, to draw them in. Control the battlefield. Lesson 9. Win through your actions, never through argument. Arguments are often unproductive and can leave lingering resentment. Actions, on the other hand, speak for themselves and can demonstrate your competence and superiority far more effectively. When you win through demonstration, you leave no room for doubt or debate. It's about showing, not telling. Greene highlights instances where direct action, rather than protracted debate, resolved conflicts and solidified power. The actionable advice? Let your deeds be your voice. When you want to prove a point, don't just talk about it, do it. Subtlety and proof are more potent than rhetoric. Lesson 10. Infection, avoid the unhappy and unlucky. This law speaks to the contagious nature of misfortune and negativity. Associating with those who are perpetually unhappy, resentful, or unlucky can drag you down with them. Their negativity can become your own, and their bad luck can rub off. It's about self-preservation and maintaining your own aura of success and positivity. The examples often involve wise individuals who distanced themselves from those who were constantly complaining or experiencing setbacks, understanding that such associations were detrimental to their own well-being and influence. The actionable advice? Be judicious about your company. Surround yourself with those who are positive, successful, and driven. Guard your own emotional and energetic space. Lesson 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. The more people rely on you, the more freedom and power you possess. When others depend on your skills, resources, or guidance, they are less likely to challenge you or act against your interests. This creates a bond of necessity. Greene illustrates this with examples of leaders who strategically made themselves indispensable to their followers or superiors. The actionable advice? Make yourself a vital resource. Cultivate unique skills or provide essential services that others cannot easily replicate or replace. Foster dependence, but do so subtly and ethically, within the framework of power dynamics. Lesson 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. This law suggests that occasional acts of sincerity and generosity can be powerful tools for manipulation. When you are generally perceived as shrewd or self-interested, a sudden act of genuine kindness or honesty can catch people off guard, lowering their defenses and making them more susceptible to your influence. It's about creating a moment of unexpected trust. The examples often involve clever strategists who used a calculated act of goodwill to gain an advantage. The actionable advice? Deploy calculated acts of honesty and generosity strategically. Use them to disarm suspicion and to create openings for your true intentions. Lesson 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. This law is about understanding human motivation. People are primarily driven by their own needs and desires. Appealing to their sense of self-interest, what they stand to gain, is far more effective than hoping for sympathy or invoking past favors. Remind them of how your request will benefit them, and they will be far more inclined to help. Greene's examples often show how direct appeals to self-gain yielded greater results than emotional pleas. The actionable advice? Frame your requests in terms of what the other person will gain. Make it clear how assisting you serves their own interests. Lesson 14. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. This law is about gathering information discreetly. By appearing friendly and non-threatening, you can gain access to confidences and secrets that would otherwise remain hidden. You become an observer, gathering intelligence that can be used to your advantage. The historical figures who excelled at this were masters of social espionage, using charm and familiarity to uncover the plans and weaknesses of their rivals. The actionable advice? Be affable and approachable. Cultivate relationships that allow you to gather intelligence without raising suspicion. Information is power, and the best information is often obtained through seemingly innocent observation. Lesson 15. Crush your enemy totally. If you leave even a small part of your enemy intact, they will eventually regroup and seek revenge. This law advocates for complete annihilation of your opponents. It's about eliminating any potential threat before it can fester and grow. Greene draws on historical examples where half measures led to the resurgence of defeated foes, while total victory ensured lasting peace, at least for the victor. The actionable advice? When you decide to strike, do so with overwhelming force. Leave no room for your enemy to recover or retaliate. Ensure their power is utterly extinguished. Lesson 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it also increases your perceived value. When you are constantly present, your presence can be taken for granted. By strategically withdrawing, you create a void that makes others miss you and appreciate you more. Your value is often best understood in your absence. Greene uses examples of figures who strategically withdrew from the public eye to enhance their mystique and influence. The actionable advice? Do not overexpose yourself. Learn to strategically withdraw. Let your absence create anticipation and enhance your reputation. Lesson 17. Keep others in suspended terror, cultivate an air of unpredictability. Uncertainty is a powerful tool for control. If people can predict your every move, they can easily counter you. By acting erratically and unpredictably, you keep others off balance, constantly guessing, and thus more manageable. This creates a climate of fear and respect. Greene points to leaders who use sudden shifts in policy or unpredictable behavior to maintain control over their courts and subjects. The actionable advice? Break patterns. Be unpredictable. Let your action surprise those around you, keeping them constantly guessing and on edge. Lesson 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. While it may seem logical to retreat and protect yourself from threats, isolation is ultimately a weakness. It cuts you off from information, from allies, and from the vital currents of the world. You become vulnerable and easily overwhelmed. Greene argues that it's better to be in the thick of things, engaging with others, even if it carries some risk. The examples often involve rulers who became isolated in their palaces and were easily overthrown. The actionable advice? Do not withdraw from the world. Stay engaged, stay informed, and stay connected. Openness and interaction are your best defenses. Lesson 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. This law is about understanding your adversaries and potential allies. Not everyone is the same, and some individuals possess a dangerous capacity for revenge or a deep well of resentment. Offending the wrong person can have devastating consequences. It's crucial to assess the power and disposition of those you interact with. Greene highlights the importance of careful social maneuvering and avoiding unnecessary enemies. The actionable advice? Study people carefully. Understand their strengths, weaknesses, and potential for retaliation. Do not make unnecessary enemies, especially those who are powerful and vindictive. Lesson 20. Do not commit to anyone. This law is about maintaining your independence and freedom of action. By refusing to commit yourself exclusively to any one person, faction, or cause, you retain leverage and can shift your allegiance as circumstances change. You become a player with many options, rather than a pawn bound to a single master. Greene's examples often include shrewd political operators who played different sides against each other. The actionable advice? Keep your options open. Do not tie yourself down. Remain flexible and uncommitted, allowing you to profit from various situations. Lesson 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. This law suggests that by appearing less intelligent or less knowledgeable than someone, you can lull them into a false sense of security. They will underestimate you, becoming more confident and less guarded, making them easier to manipulate. It's about using their own ego against them. Greene points to examples of individuals who feigned ignorance to achieve their goals. The actionable advice? Feign ignorance or incompetence when it suits your purpose. Let others believe they are smarter than you, and they will reveal their hand more readily. Lesson 22. Use the capitulation strategy. Transform weakness into power. When you are in a position of weakness, rather than fighting a losing battle, it is often wiser to appear to surrender or concede. This allows you to regroup, to gain time, and to preserve your strength. Once you have recovered, you can then exploit the overconfidence of your opponent. Greene illustrates this with examples of those who strategically yielded to gain a long-term advantage. The actionable advice? When facing overwhelming odds, do not fight a direct confrontation. Appear to capitulate, gather your strength, and wait for an opportune moment to strike back. Lesson 23. Concentrate your forces. This law emphasizes the importance of focus and efficiency. Spreading your resources too thin leads to weakness and ineffectiveness. By concentrating your efforts and energies on a single point or objective, you can achieve a decisive impact. Greene uses military analogies and historical examples to show how concentrated power can overcome even numerically superior but dispersed forces. The actionable advice? Identify your primary objective and pour all your energy and resources into achieving it. Avoid scattering your efforts. Lesson 24. Play the perfect courtier. This law delves into the art of navigating social hierarchies and gaining favor. A perfect courtier understands the dynamics of power, knows how to flatter, how to gauge moods, and how to operate within the confines of social etiquette. They are masters of diplomacy and subtle manipulation. Greene draws on historical accounts of successful courtiers who rose through the ranks by understanding these principles. The actionable advice? Master the art of social grace. Be attentive, observant, and always mindful of how you are perceived. Understand the unwritten rules of the game. Lesson 25. Recreate yourself. This law encourages continuous self-reinvention. Do not be trapped by your past identity or by the expectations of others. Actively shape your public persona and create new roles for yourself. This keeps you dynamic and unpredictable, preventing stagnation and allowing you to adapt to changing circumstances. Greene highlights individuals who successfully reinvented themselves throughout their lives. The actionable advice? Do not be afraid to shed old skins. Embrace change and actively sculpt your identity. Create a compelling character for yourself. Lesson 26. Keep your hands clean. This law is about maintaining an image of purity and competence. When you are involved in dirty work or morally questionable actions, it is best to have others carry out those tasks. This protects your reputation and allows you to appear as though you are above such dealings. Greene uses examples of powerful figures who employed intermediaries for their more unsavory operations. The actionable advice? Delegate the dirty work. Ensure that your hands remain clean so that your reputation remains untarnished. Let others take the blame or the consequences. Lesson 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Humans have a deep-seated need for meaning and belief. By offering a compelling vision or a set of promises, you can tap into this need and create a devoted following. This involves a degree of showmanship and the creation of rituals or a sense of belonging. Greene examines how charismatic leaders have used this to build powerful movements. The actionable advice? Create a compelling narrative. Offer a vision that people can believe in. Utilize symbolism and ritual to foster a sense of community and devotion. Lesson 28. Enter action with boldness. This law emphasizes the power of confidence and decisive action. Hesitation and timidity breed doubt and weaken your impact. When you act boldly, you convey strength and conviction, inspiring confidence in yourself and others. Greene highlights how boldness can often overcome even well-laid plans. The actionable advice? When you decide to act, do so with unhesitating boldness. Your conviction will often carry the day. Do not let fear paralyze you. Lesson 29. To plan all the way to the end. This law stresses the importance of foresight and long-term planning. Do not just focus on the immediate victory, consider the ultimate consequences of your actions. By anticipating future events and planning accordingly, you can avoid unexpected pitfalls and ensure a more complete success. Greene uses military strategists and master chess players as examples of those who plan for the endgame. The actionable advice? Think several steps ahead. Consider all potential outcomes and plan your moves accordingly. Do not be short-sighted. Lesson 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. This law is about projecting an image of innate talent and mastery. When your accomplishments appear effortless, they are more awe-inspiring and seem to stem from a natural superiority. This increases your prestige and makes your efforts appear more natural and less calculated. Greene points to artists and performers who masterfully create this illusion. The actionable advice? Conceal the hard work and practice that goes into your achievements. Present your successes as if they came easily, as if they are simply a natural extension of your talent. Lesson 31. Control the options, get others to play with the cards you deal. This law is about manipulating the choices available to others. By presenting limited options, you subtly guide them towards the outcome you desire. You make them feel as though they are making their own decision, when in reality, you have already predetermined the choices. Greene uses examples of shrewd negotiators and politicians who controlled the agenda. The actionable advice? Present choices that all lead to your desired outcome. Frame the options in a way that makes your preferred path the most attractive or the most logical. Lesson 32. Play to people's fantasies. This law acknowledges that people often prefer illusion to reality. By appealing to their desires, hopes, and dreams, you can gain their favor and influence them more effectively than by relying solely on logic or facts. Greene examines how charismatic leaders have often tapped into the collective imagination. The actionable advice? Understand what people fantasize about. Craft your message and your actions to align with those fantasies, offering them a dream they can believe in. Lesson 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. This law is about understanding individual weaknesses and leveraging them. Everyone has a soft spot, a vulnerability, or a deep-seated insecurity. By identifying this thumbscrew, you gain a powerful lever for manipulation. Greene suggests that these weaknesses are often the key to controlling someone. The actionable advice? Observe people closely. Identify their insecurities, their fears, their deepest desires. Once you find their thumbscrew, you can use it to your advantage. Lesson 34. Be royal in your own fashion, act like a king to be treated like one. This law is about projecting an aura of confidence and self-worth. When you carry yourself with the dignity and authority of a king, others are more likely to treat you as such. It's about embodying the status you desire. Greene points to historical figures who, through sheer force of will and self-belief, commanded respect and obedience. The actionable advice? Project confidence and self-assurance in your demeanor and actions. Carry yourself with regal bearing, and you will be treated with respect. Lesson 35. Master the art of timing. This law emphasizes the critical role of timing in all endeavors. Knowing when to act, when to wait, and when to retreat is as important as knowing what to do. Patience and strategic timing can turn a weak position into a strong one and an opportune moment into a decisive victory. Greene uses examples of successful generals and strategists who understood the ebb and flow of events. The actionable advice? Develop a keen sense of timing. Understand the rhythms of events and act at the opportune moment. Patience can be a powerful weapon. Lesson 36. Disdain things you cannot have, ignoring them is the best revenge. This law advises against fixating on things you cannot obtain. Such obsession is a drain on your energy and can lead to bitterness and resentment. By actively disdaining what is out of reach, you preserve your peace of mind and deny your rivals the satisfaction of seeing you suffer. Greene suggests that such indifference can be a powerful form of revenge. The actionable advice? If you cannot have something, or if something is beyond your reach, do not dwell on it. Actively disdain it. Let your indifference be your weapon. Lesson 37. Create compelling spectacles. This law highlights the power of imagery and spectacle. Humans are drawn to the theatrical. By creating grand displays, striking visuals, and memorable events, you can capture attention, stir emotions, and project an image of power and importance. Greene examines how leaders have used pageantry and elaborate ceremonies to solidify their authority. The actionable advice? Use dramatic displays and visual elements to communicate your power and influence. Create spectacles that captivate the imagination and leave a lasting impression. Lesson 38. Think as you like but behave like others. This law advocates for outward conformity while maintaining intellectual independence. While you may hold unconventional or dissenting views, it is often strategic to present yourself as fitting in with the prevailing norms. This avoids unnecessary conflict and allows you to operate more freely behind the scenes. Greene warns against alienating others with radical ideas prematurely. The actionable advice? Maintain your individuality of thought, but be discreet about it. Conform to social expectations in your outward behavior to avoid unnecessary opposition. Lesson 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. This law suggests that creating chaos or conflict can be an effective way to expose weaknesses and advance your own interests. When the waters are stirred, hidden things are revealed, and opponents are more likely to make mistakes. Greene uses examples of those who deliberately created turmoil to gain an advantage. The actionable advice? When necessary, create a little chaos. Agitate, stir things up, and then take advantage of the confusion to achieve your objectives. Lesson 40. Despise the free lunch. This law warns against accepting things that are offered freely, as they often come with hidden strings or obligations. True value often requires effort and investment. Greene suggests that those who offer free lunches are often trying to trap you or make you dependent. The actionable advice? Be wary of gifts and favors that seem too good to be true. Understand that everything has a price. Earn what you receive, and do not be indebted to others. Lesson 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. This law advises caution when taking over a role or position previously held by someone exceptionally successful or famous. You risk being constantly compared, and your own achievements may be overshadowed or dismissed. It's difficult to live up to such a legacy. Greene uses historical examples of successors who struggled to match the brilliance of their predecessors. The actionable advice? If possible, avoid stepping directly into the shoes of a legendary figure. Forge your own path and create your own legacy. Lesson 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. This law emphasizes the importance of targeting the leader or the source of power. By neutralizing the authority figure, you can effectively dismantle the entire group or opposition. Greene uses military and political examples to illustrate how removing the head can lead to the collapse of the body. The actionable advice? Identify the leader or the key individual controlling a group or an organization. Focus your efforts on them, and the rest will often follow. Lesson 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. This law stresses the importance of persuasion and psychological manipulation. True power lies not just in coercion but in influencing people's emotions and beliefs. By understanding and appealing to their desires and fears, you can win them over to your side. Greene highlights how great leaders have always been masters of persuasion. The actionable advice? Understand what drives people. Appeal to their emotions, their desires, and their beliefs to gain their loyalty and support. Lesson 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. This law suggests that by mirroring your opponent's actions and behaviors, you can confuse and unsettle them. They may become frustrated that you are not reacting as they expect, and this can lead them to make mistakes. Greene uses examples of those who used this tactic to control the flow of conflict. The actionable advice? Observe your opponent's actions and mirror them. This can disarm them, create confusion, and often lead them to become angry and reckless. Lesson 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. This law advises that while advocating for change can be beneficial, implementing too much change too quickly can cause unrest and resistance. Incremental reforms are often more palatable and easier to manage. Greene uses examples of reformers who overreached and faced backlash. The actionable advice? Advocate for necessary changes, but implement them gradually. Make people feel that progress is being made without overwhelming them with too much disruption. Lesson 46. Never appear too perfect. This law warns against projecting an image of flawlessness. Perfection can breed envy and resentment. It's often more strategic to display a few minor flaws or imperfections, making you seem more human and less threatening, thereby endearing yourself to others. Greene suggests that a touch of vulnerability can be a strategic advantage. The actionable advice? Do not be afraid to show a few minor flaws. It makes you more relatable and can deflect envy from those who might otherwise resent your perfection. Lesson 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. This law emphasizes the importance of knowing when to cease your efforts, especially in victory. Overextending yourself or pushing too far after achieving your objective can lead to overconfidence, mistakes, and the creation of new enemies. Greene uses examples of generals who lost battles by not knowing when to consolidate their gains. The actionable advice? Once you have achieved your objective, know when to stop. Do not let victory lead you to overreach. Consolidate your gains and secure your position. And finally, Lesson 48, assume formlessness. This law encourages adaptability and flexibility. Do not be rigidly defined by a particular form or strategy. Be like water, capable of adapting to any container, flowing around obstacles, and changing shape as needed. This makes you unpredictable and resilient, able to withstand any attack. Greene concludes with this ultimate principle of power to be ungraspable, ever-changing, and always in motion. The actionable advice? Be adaptable. Do not be bound by rigid plans or fixed ideas. Embrace change and flow like water, always finding a way to survive and thrive. The 48 Laws of Power is a challenging, often uncomfortable read, but it offers a profound, if unflinching, glimpse into the dynamics of human ambition and control. It's a mirror reflecting the often unseen forces that shape our world, and understanding these laws can equip you with a powerful lens through which to view and navigate it. Thank you for watching. If you found this summary helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Visual Books for more summaries, and share it with someone who would benefit.